Jane Maulucci, I am so excited to talk to you about your new book, your new exciting speaking. I've known you for many years.
Yeah.
I've hired you for many things.
Yes, I appreciate it.
And I really want to sit down and talk about it. Your business card says, strengthening your business voice. And one of the niches you're focusing on is empowering women in communicating. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that.
Well, I've found that many women that I'm encountering have a couple of problems. The first one is they have something they want to say and they don't know how to organize their thoughts. Mm-hmm. So I have a simple process that will help them do that, so that no matter what it is they have to do, whether it's standing up to just introduce themselves or doing an hour-long presentation or even a whole day presentation, I teach them how to start with a great opening, write a great close, and in the middle, just hit 3 points. And then they can expand them as much as they need to so that they can fill in for whatever their amount of time is. The other thing I found is that a lot of women are just absolutely terrified to get up and speak.
Sure.
And, most of the time the audience is with you. And if you come in there and you're confident and you've got your stuff in front of you and you know what you're going to speak about, they are going to love you because you've got something important to tell them. So go ahead and tell them. And the third thing that I found that women have a problem with is just overall body language. They forget that if you make eye contact with somebody instead of looking at your phone, if you give a handshake to someone.
Or initiate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes such a big difference. And the way you carry yourself, walking strongly into a room, you don't have to, like you're going to go in there and take over the place, but just be your confident self and get in there and look great and feel great and just know that you absolutely know what you're doing. You're going to win every time.
Excellent. And then you mentioned handshakes as well as important, strength of getting accustomed to do that.
Yeah, it's a little scary. Now, I'm from Connecticut.
Right.
And in Connecticut, it's always a handshake.
I see.
You come into the South, and it's a hug.
Right.
I'm still a handshake girl.
I get it.
So the thing is, though, that I was taught, and maybe this is just my age coming through, is that you only shake hands as a woman. The woman has to offer.
Right.
If a gentleman offers, you are supposed to decide whether or not you want to accept that. But we're not going to go there. So anyhow, as a woman in business, you need to be prepared to offer to shake hands. And so you introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Jane Maulucci. And shake their hand. Sometimes, people are a little weird. I have had men who will try to really clamp down. Yeah. And it's their way of saying, I'm in
charge.
Yeah. And we all know that, they might be at that moment, but in reality, they're not. Yeah. You can work that out. Because Martin has taught me this great technique called the Aikido handshake.
Yes.
So, okay, let's try it.
Okay, we'll do
All
it.
right,
so when you shake hands, if I curl my hand around yours, then if you squeeze, you'll do the maximum damage. Yeah, that hurts, actually. I can feel that. Now, if I just relax and extend that finger slightly, and you just clamp down as hard as you want, it's really hard to do any damage. It lines up the... Now, you don't want to go like this where it's you're tense. You're relaxed and focused. In Aikido, we called it, imagine ki is flowing through your hand.
Oh,
like a fire hose that's formed by water. And that's just a little tip. And
that's great.
You can add that on to it.
I'm going to steal that.
Yeah,
that's
I hope you do.
Tip. So thanks.
The other one thing I wanted to take a moment talking about is I want to talk a little bit about your background because you've gone through the School of Hard Knocks and earned your place here, too.
Oh, thank you.
Military, right?
Yep. Yeah, I was a broadcaster in the military. And
there weren't a lot of women then, were there?
No, this was the 80s, and we were still kind of new. And I was actually, and this was by their choice, not mine, I was actually the first female sportscaster for the American Forces Network.
Wow.
Yeah, so what happened was they had an opening. I auditioned to appease a friend of mine, and they put me in the slot. So then I had to step up. So that was a great adventure, and I was fortunate to work with some wonderful people. And from there, I took all my writing skills when I came back to the States, and I started working for newspapers as a freelancer, and also for small businesses, and worked through the Chamber of Commerce. Got to work in business-to-business sales, and then worked with a training company for about 5 years, building corporate training programs, which was so much fun, the things I got to learn so that I could explain them to other people. So after doing all of that, when we moved down here, I decided to start my own company and just rely strictly on my freelance business. And I found that the tools and the tips and the tricks that I had learned from the big corporations could all be tailored down for the small people, for all of us little people, us solos and micro businesses. And so that's what I did with my book, which is called You Can Make a Living at That?
That's a great title. And it has a workbook, too.
Yes, and it has a workbook because I think everything that I've put in that book, you should be able to apply immediately so that you can see some benefit for yourself and for your business.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for your service, as I do all veterans, but also ask, how can people find out more about your book and your resources?
My book will be coming out in the next few months, and you can go to my website, trainedbyjane.com.
Excellent.
And if you just want to reach out to me, please send me an email at jane@trainedbyjane.com.
Great. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Really enjoyed it.
Super.
Good tips, and you're available for speaking, training, and one-on-one coaching.
Absolutely,
Is that correct?
that's
Excellent.
right.
Thanks for the time, and look forward to hearing how you've used it. If you find this useful, please share it, like it, comment, let us hear from you. Have a great day. This is Martin Brossman.